In addition to designing and building a cello for Gabriel Moon, Muriel Monmarie sent with it a detailed notebook describing the cello's unique construction and materials. Her musings about the classical repertoire and the romantic yearnings lying deep within her own heart. Years later, she receives Gabriel's reply. Instead of aged 80, Muriel is now 60, because the scene follows will be portrayed from Gabriel's perspective. Living room. So, Muriel, age 60, is reading Gabriel's penned-in portion of the notebook. With her glass of Pinot, she is highly anxious. She doesn't look up. Gabriel stares at her reading for 10 full seconds in silence, trying to work out an approach. His expression betrays his fear of frightening her. Muriel doesn't look at him. She simply reads the notebook. She's breathless. Gabriel's eyes shine on her with stunning, differential, loving kindness and the deepest compassion. Then he quietly speaks, with perfect poise. His words are an orientation of what Muriel sits reading in the notebook. He speaks very slowly, as if to calm her obvious anxiety, taking his last chance to reach out to this woman with severe social anxiety disorder, whom he loves.
Muriel?
Sitting there, her eyes closed at the sound of his voice in her head, saying her name.
Verber.
Thank you for the cello.
There is a long pause. She reads. He tilts his head, watching her, and chooses his words judiciously, still in the foyer.
You know, I've enjoyed exploring its mysteries, its fire, its heartbreaking sonority. I'm still sorting out its many voices. It's willful, Muriel, wrought, so finely wrought, and compliant. Playing it is more like riding dressage, a power exchange, intimate, trembling here under my heart, sometimes barely purring, other times. I never felt such tonal sweep. For years I've wondered about the woman who carved it that way. I sought her out once, long ago. I found her. I came to her. I discover a shut-in who rejects me. Or so I thought.
Gabriel pauses for a reaction. Muriel just reads. He continues.
Last week, to my dismay, I find her journal in my cold shed, hidden inside a splintered shipping crate, unread these 20 long years.
Muriel realizes he only just read the journal a week ago.
My God.
Yeah, I read it. The whole thing. Right there on the floor. I laugh, I lust, I dissolve, I fucking fall in love. Sitting right there alone, freezing on the dirt floor. And your journal, oh Muriel. Still waters run deep. But you didn't finish.
Here, he begins a slow advance. He pauses between each step.
No matter. There's a new director in town, with a blistering C string to flutter your dovecoat.
Gabriel continues his slow approach toward Muriel.
So ask yourself, what's the cost of not opening that door? Of hiding love for 20 years? From me? From you? What's the penalty for wasting a life? A love that might have been shared?
He now stands in front of her on a wing-back chair. His legs straddle her knees. He bends over, leaning on his hands on each chair arm. His face is above hers. His expression is black, terrifying. He draws closer to her. Closer and closer. She continues to read. Gabriel's face draws closer still. Muriel continues to read. She lifts her face to his. His lips are inches from her lips. Their faces fill the frame.
Muriel, get ready for a scrap.
Their lips draw closer, together still, then touch. The scene goes black, a long beat. Then we hear Gabriel's soft laughter.